If you're physically able, put your hands over your heart for a second and just think about what it would mean for your heart to be totally full of love. So full of love that that love is pumped out through your arteries, out into every cell, out to your fingertips, out to the bottoms of the soles of your feet. Some of you unfortunate enough to have hair up to the top of your hair, but the rest of us just to your head. And then to imagine your face being so full of love that it became radiant with love. Can I just tell you, I see it on your faces now. You know, we've got a lot of clergy here. And one of the things that the fact that we're here today is an indictment of is that for the last several hundred years, the dominant religion in America, Christianity, has failed to teach white people how to love. And one of the great things about having bishops and priests and pastors and clergy and rabbis and imams and others here as well is that we can rededicate our faith communities to say every week when we bring people together, we're going to help them fill up with love again. We're going to help them remember what it feels like to have your heart and your mind filled with love. To be filled with the Spirit is to be filled with love. You know, it's so interesting. Everybody talks about sin. And really, one of the best definitions of sin, we've had a religion that made people feel guilty about a lot of things, but it never made them feel concerned about racism. And one of the things we have to rediscover is an understanding of sin, that sin is the violation of love. The violation of love for your neighbor, the violation of love for the stranger, the alien, the outsider, the immigrant, the disabled, the different, the religiously different, the racially different. That love is, it calls us into a great beloved community, and to violate love of your neighbor, that's what sin is, that's what evil is. And then to think love for yourself. One of the tragedies of white supremacy is what it does to white people. It makes them mean, it makes them small. As they reduce the humanity of others, their own humanity is reduced, and what is so tragic is they're the last to know it. And so for all of us today as we march, as we encounter people who are in the other marches, may our hearts be filled with love. Love that overflows. Love for our neighbor, which includes the stranger, the alien, the outcast, even the enemy. Love for ourselves, that we want ourselves to be filled with love, the best, most loving version of ourselves that we can be. Love for this beautiful earth. Because you know, when people have supremacy over other people, they exploit people, they also exploit the earth. And just as we're reaching a red zone of economic inequality and of white supremacy, we're in a red zone of what we're doing to the planet. It all comes back to love. My personal belief is that the way you encounter the love of God is through love of neighbor, love of self, and love of the earth. And when you experience those things, you experience the love of God. So look around at all the clergy present and give them some encouragement, because they can, from today forward, work as never before to make every Sunday, every Saturday, every Friday they meet, to make that a time when people learn to open their hearts to love, to practice the mindset of love, so that we can create a beloved community. Here's the irony. The guys who are marching today, they think people are trying to replace them or displace them. What we're actually trying to do is invite them into a beloved community. Amen?
Amen. Amen.